Another major story that we are following very closely throughout this weekend is some of these severely cold temperatures parts of the Northeast is seeing. The National Weather Service in New York posting this to social media, saying strong wind and very cold temps have led to dangerous wind chills overnight. Current temps at this hour are in the single digits area-wide, with many interior locations below zero. Winds are gusting between 20 and 40 miles per hour, leading to wind chills this morning between -10 and -20. Bitterly cold in parts across the state. Joining us now to talk about it a bit more is Lisa Evers with our team at Fox 5 in New York. Lisa, you were telling me it's about 4 degrees where you're at right now?
Yes, about 4 degrees, Corella. It was 5 degrees in the car, which I think was an extra degree or so from the engine, but it's so cold, like you could walk half a block if you don't have gloves on. Your fingers and your hands feel like you've been out for half an hour or more. It's bitterly, bitterly cold. And yesterday was even worse because we had the cold weather, plus we had these vicious winds that added to the wind chill. The wind chill was actually below zero. And it's been very hard in New York. It's actually been deadly. We've had, since the cold spell started January 19th, there have been confirmed 17 deaths due to the cold. So the city's really been trying to do a lot of things that they can to try and ramp up and get people who are street homeless or who are out on the streets, to get them into warming centers, to get them into shelter. They've been doing continual outreach. You're looking at these buses. So this is a new thing that they started this year. They've had cooling centers during the summers when the temperature gets really, really hot, like, around 100 degrees. People go to their community center. But what you're looking at here, these are warming centers where they have buses for people that are on the streets that maybe don't want to get involved in the system. Here's Mayor Mamdani. They're bringing out pizzas to the firehouse because they're on extra alert. Our fire department is also the same department with EMS, with the paramedics. And they've had to do, the NYPD yesterday had to do a water rescue. Two guys father and son got stuck in the water, and that was incredible because it's so cold. If you're in the water, the police say for like longer than 5 minutes or so, you're in that's a life-threatening situation for you. So they're trying to do everything that they can. But meantime, we haven't had that much snow. There was some blowing snow yesterday, but we still have these mounds of filthy, disgusting snow on a lot of the, at the curbs and a lot of the streets. And then also still taking up some of the lanes of traffic that the city, just because of the sheer volume, just isn't able to get rid of. You can see some of them there. Actually, those are pretty clean. This is Williamsburg, Brooklyn. This was taken yesterday. So you can see on the streets are pretty clean. Sidewalks are pretty clear. There's just these hard mounds of snow that aren't melting because it's so frozen. And it's taking a toll on everybody. It doesn't look that cold, but when you're out there, forget about it. A lot of people are going out now to buy extra heavy duty gear, and there's nothing in the stores. There's very little that's left online, but you really have to be prepared for it. Let's take a listen to what Mayor Mamdani had to say about the cold.
That our city has seen, and we are encouraging each and every New Yorker to stay inside, to stay warm, and to stay safe. And so what we're doing at this time is doubling down on all of our efforts to connect any New Yorker who's outside with shelter, with warmth, and with safety, because we know that this weather, frankly, is dangerous, and the consequences of being outside could be fatal.
And they could be fatal if you're out there on the street, as we've seen in some of these tragic cases. They're saying several of them were connected also with possible drug overdoses. But it's so cold. I mean, you instantly, like, your fingers freeze, literally. Like you have a bottle of water in the car, and that in an hour it's frozen solid. It's really taking a toll on a lot of people. The city's trying to cope. I was trying to think back. We were talking here in the newsroom this morning, Carell, like, when was it so cold? Because nobody's kind of giving us the pinpoint. And then then we went back to 2016, which was the year, I believe, of the the land when Captain Sully Sullivan landed the plane in the Hudson River. There was a bird strike, and he landed the plane. It was so cold that winter. And it was also winter that we had, 2016 was also a year we had a lot of public housing, major buildings, thousands of residents in them that went without heat. And the city government at that time was very slow to do anything about it. So I was doing a lot of stories about that. And that winter, 2016, we said the forecasters and the meteorologists were saying that was the coldest winter in 75 years. So if we get many more days like this, many more weekends like this, I think this one's going to could go down in the record books, because it's just, I mean, been absolutely brutal. And it's so sad to see people losing their lives. And the cold one of the first responders explained to us, when you're out in the cold, it's the people like, how can you die from the cold that fast? Everything slows down, like your brain function slows down, your ability to make decisions slows down, everything, you kind of just are coping. And so it doesn't take that long before the elements will start to take a real toll. But very sad here, and just a really tough time. The city's trying to do everything that they can, and they're really staying on top of the landlords with the heat in people's apartments. So we're going to hope for the best. And tomorrow, the forecast, hopefully we'll hit this number. They're saying it's going to be up to 31, which we're like going, wow. Some of my colleagues, some of the other reporters that are out on the streets too, we're like going, did you ever think we'd get excited about 31? It's like you're telling us, oh, it's going to be 75. But that's what we're dealing with.
What whiplash also. I mean, it's interesting, Lisa, because last week, this was the story we were focused on too, was the severe cold and how dangerous and even deadly it becomes. This weekend, it's the same thing. 4 degrees right now, tomorrow 31. We just keep breaking records, not even just in New York, but all over the country. It's bizarre sometimes, I think.
No, it's very bizarre, and it's like we have gotten spoiled. The winters in New York have been milder. I can always kind of tell by like what kind of what's my wardrobe like? What level of jacket am I wearing or coat am I wearing? How many accessories? Do I need gloves? Do I need a scarf? Do I need a hat? Now it's like check all of the above, but it's this sustained period, because this has been now like 3 weeks, maybe going, like three solid weeks with maybe 1 or 2 days like in the low 30s, like 30, 31, and then it goes right back down, and not enough time to melt all the snow, and not enough time to really warm everything up. And it's just, we're not used to it. I mean, this is the type of winter we're not really accustomed to. I mean, we'll usually get a couple of cold days, get maybe a couple of snowstorms that last a day or two, but nothing like this, where it's just this brutal. And I think the death toll also, the lives lost, I think that's going to be if not setting a record, going to be very close to setting a record, because some of the experts in homeless outreach that I talked to said that in the past years, it's been maybe 10 to 15 people throughout the whole year. And here it is, we're talking about a very concentrated period of this ultra cold weather. The snowstorm that came in was so bad, 2 weekends ago. And that was devastating, because it was so much snow, like you couldn't really even get around right away. And we're hoping for the best, but it's like we feel like we're in one of those 007 movies where they're manipulating the the temperature. It's like, come on, give us a break here. But it's been everywhere, and it's just they're doing the best they can. I mean, it's such a big city. There's so many places that people are going. And they're really trying to get people in off the streets, and as you saw, like we talked about last weekend, they have the shelter beds ready. I mean, this is not a question of there's no place to go, and these centers for the most needy street homeless are actually pretty nice. So, and they have a lot of supportive services. So it's like, just come in. They're doing away with the paperwork, the drop-in shelters. They've done away with all the paperwork that you usually have to sit and fill out before you are given a bed and given shelter. They've done away with that to try to make it more inviting, so people can just come in. Because right now they're like, we just don't want any more people to die. That's what it's come down to. And I've never seen it like this, Corel.
And that's really just what the focus is, isn't it, Lisa? Just making sure that people can stay safe during this, especially those who are unhoused. It's an unfortunate situation, but the good news, like you said, these warming centers, they're open, they're ready to take people in, and hopefully they can ride through this storm and get out the other side safely. But
Definitely.
Lisa, Evers with our team at Fox 5 in New York. We always enjoy our conversations here throughout the week as we follow some of these major breaking news stories. You know, I hope that tomorrow it's warmer for you all. Please.
I hope so too, and I hope I had to actually. I thought I had like all the down coats that you would need. I had to get like an expedition level. I mean, this coat is like it probably weighs like 5 pounds. It's so heavy and so packed and so warm, but it's helping me get through it. But it's, you know, thank God I was able to find one and get one. But you know, we're just hoping there's no more loss of life. And big shout out to all the first responders and the sanitation people, and you know, all the people that are on the front line really trying to keep the city moving and save lives.
For sure. And, you know, the coat might be heavy, Lisa, but as long as you stay warm and you're safe out there, we got to keep having you on. So you take care of yourself, all right?
Exactly, I will.
All right, Lisa, good to talk to you always. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
All right, we do want to step away for a quick commercial break. Of course, though, this cold, it can be dangerous. It's not just New York City that's experiencing it. There are several other cities across the northeastern side of the U.S. So please, everyone, just heed the warnings from your emergency management officials. Stay safe, stay indoors, stay warm, and take a look at some of the resources that some of these city officials have to make sure that you can get through some of this severe cold safely.